crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Mr. Prime Minister, what I want you to do first is to fire the prosecutor. That's what I want. Mr. Prime Minister, what I want you to do first is to fire the prosecutor. That's what I want.
And this is coming from a man who has all his stray cattle along the Shock area, my good friend Hilton. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, Newspin, on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the Newspin Facebook page as well as the Newspin YouTube channel. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Amanda is off this afternoon, so I will try, make an attempt to go through some of the comments in the chat room. Hope you're having yourself an enjoyable Wednesday so far. But you get a sense of how our program will unfold during the course of this afternoon's Newspin. Because people, particularly supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party, they are calling for the head of the special prosecutor, Mr. Robert Innocent. Because for them, he's not delivering. They want the necks of some individuals who served in the previous administration. They want them decapitated, figuratively, right? They want them hauled before the courts, particularly before the next general election. I could think of maybe 2 or 3 individuals. And they want those persons to be found guilty and to be sent, not to the gallows, to be sent to the bodily correctional facility. They want their pound of flesh because this was sold to them. That those guys in the previous administration, they are so corrupt. First, don't re-elect them into office. And secondly, if you elect us into the seat of power, we will take care of them. Almost 4 years later, admittedly so, could understand why. Supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party are frustrated, and they're exhibiting that. In particular, they want to see former government minister Guy Joseph behind bars. And as a bonus, they don't mind former Prime Minister Alan Chasney tagging along as well. Now you see how gullible some voters can be, particularly in St. Lucia, when they are all emotional and without an iota of evidence, they swallow everything that is fed to them. They're not discerning. So if they tell you that this guy is corrupt, they buy into it. They believe it. They give credence to it. As if they have not been around for a long time, observing the politics of St. Lucia. One side calling the other side corrupt. And if you go to the Bodily Correctional Facility as we speak, not one SLP government minister is there. Likewise, not one United Workers' Party former government minister is there. And what does that tell you? It is a game. It is a game that the politicians are playing with you. You are being used, you are being abused by, you know what? Some riffraffs. And they are benefiting from this. And they will do it again in the run-up to the island's next general election. That is why this afternoon you'll be hearing from an individual, a politician. And I so far consider that individual to be the most refreshing candidate thus far in the run-up to the island's next general election. You don't have to agree with me on this, but that is my opinion. That is the conclusion that I've drawn, and you'll be hearing from that individual momentarily. But earlier on you heard from Hilton, the owner of the stray cattle that you would normally encounter, whether you are a pedestrian or motorist, every afternoon, nearly every afternoon, every morning along the Shock area. But you hear from another individual who attended the Tuesday town hall meeting of the St. Lucia Labour Party, which was hosted in Grosley. And that individual too, unlike Hilton, who said he wants the special prosecutor fired, this supporter posed a question to the SLP political leader and Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre.
I have a question directly to you, Mr. Prime Minister. This afternoon, while I was at work, I get a call all the way from Canada.
So there was this individual, we'll get the right clip for you. There was this individual who posed, unlike Hilton, who said that he wanted the special prosecutor fired. This individual posed a question to the Prime Minister and political leader of the SLP regarding the special prosecutor.
The government of St. Lucia, your campaign about corruption, and I am so sick because some people saying, the last government did a lot of things. Avec m'rapana koyol. Parce que jodi zokteka campagne pour s'amener moun qui fait bagay qui pas bon, pour s'amener pour justice. Avec juste toujours yo allé avec yo prend toute bagay l'hôpital là. Yo mené police kay moun. Yo pense matou yo a. Et juste toujours élection qui vient l'année prochaine. Personne ne peut mener yo devant pour demander côté ces bails ça là. Si c'était yo malheureux, si c'était yo local man, yo t'ai fini arrêter yo. Moi voulais rapport ça sérieux parce que votre campagne en l'air ça. Et avec moi voulais yo bagaille fait présentement en l'air ça. Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister. Thank you.
My brother, you have ever heard that the wheels of justice grind slowly? We are a government of process. We are a government that follows the law. We are a government that do things the right way. Let me give you an example. They run the last parliament for 5 years without a deputy speaker. 5 years. For 5 years. 6 years, thank you. As soon as we got into government, we told one of our men, I had the fortitude. You not see that. to say to one of our men, stand down and become the deputy speaker, because we always obey the law. They have forgotten that they didn't have a deputy speaker, you know. They forget that. I want to know what's the excuse for that. They say Parliament must commence a few days after election. They refuse to start Parliament the days after election. When they came to government, we started Parliament the time that the Constitution says. So we obey and we follow the law. I want to tell you that we are not on any witch hunt. What we are doing, we are allowing the process to continue, and what has to happen will happen. I know you are impatient. I know you are impatient. And you have to be impatient. But do not let that confuse you with the work that the government is doing for you. Don't let that confuse you. Because look at where we've taken that economy. Look at where we've taken it. Look at where we got it, and look at where we've taken it. So I want to tell you, we are pursuing, but be patient with us, because we want the processes to be correct, because we are a government of law and order.
What if, in his search, what if in the execution of his duties, Special Prosecutor Mr. Robert Innocent ends up empty-handed in the run-up to the island's next general election? What will be the excuse? Or will he come up with something or some things just before the island's next poll and wishing for members of the previous administration to answer certain questions, and then the election bell rings? That would be very chaotic. But it appears as we speak, Mr. Robert Innocent, at this point in time, is drawing the ire of supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party, because they are thirsty for blood, and that thirst is not being quenched by the special prosecutor. Because as you heard from the Prime Minister, it is all about due process. You can glibly level all kind of allegations at people, accuse them of all kind of things. And what you're doing is appealing to the emotions of your supporters. But as far as the evidence is concerned, you basically don't have anything at all to hold those people to account, to make them account. So those just remain allegations. And therefore, the people of St. Lucia, being very gullible, decide that they will not vote certain individuals into office or re-elect them because of mere allegations. You get into office almost 4 years and you cannot prove anything. The Prime Minister was also quizzed on a particular matter. That is the plight of those people who are currently located at Bannance Bay, described as business people, residents, and also fisherfolk. And it was at that same town hall meeting yesterday that somebody said that they heard, somebody called them from Canada, and literally was trying to get a clarification from that individual regarding the plight of those people who are impacted at Bannance Bay. Let's listen to the residents, those who have been affected by this whole GPH project.
You understand? Because we had a place living for so many years. You understand? And now they want to just put us out and we don't have nowhere to go. So I don't feel that really is a good thing for us.
What can a crippled man do? The man is the man can't even get on top of the wheelchair himself. Like some people, you know, they are a little habilitated. They will get on the wheelchair themselves, even though they're there. They'll be able to move around. But he cannot do nothing for himself, and he's there. Okay? The other man is mental, is papi sure he will speak. So people like that, you would have to take care of them, make a place for them, then take them off. But I was watching some of the people who come and work. They was looking at the area where the mental man is, and the man who is on the wheelchair, like probably they might want to start their work there first. Okay? So what are they going to do with the mental man and the man who is crippled?
So regarding this issue at Bannance Bay, a question was posed to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Mr. Philip J. Pierre.
I have a question directly to you, Mr. Prime Minister. This afternoon, while I was at work, I get a call all the way from Canada. And the main topic, that was the main topic on Newspin today, that the people in Bannance Bay, that we know GPAs have to do work there, and government just give the people just $40,000, and they haven't got nowhere to go, and they have to build their home. So I want to get a little more explanation on this place.
My brother, that's a good question. But it just shows you what these guys have in their mind for the people of St. Lucia. It just shows you that. Here's what will happen there. Here's what will happen there. We are creating what is called a fishing village. We are transforming that area so that the fishermen there can sell their fish in much better conditions. In there, we're going to have restaurants. In there, we're going to have cafes. In there, we are transforming that whole area. But you know, they do not want that. They don't want that. They want the people to remain where they are. But we have designed a plan which they know for the people of that area. It is not in my frame of mind to tell you exactly, because we want the people to keep their secrets, keep their pride. We don't want to go all the people and say, we do this, we do that, we give this one that, we give that one that. We want to treat the people with dignity because we respect them. And we want to keep the confidence. The relationship between the people there and Slasper must be a confidential relationship. But I'll tell you something. The people who live there are going to be much better off. And when you see that area, you're going to see why labor works for you.
The question is, why all the equivocation and the subterfuge on the part of the Prime Minister? Simple question, address that particular issue involving the plight of those residents, business people, fisher folk over at Bannance Bay. And the Prime Minister is going in circles. The Prime Minister is making reference to the privacy of those people, when those people are openly telling you that they are dissatisfied with how things are playing out, with how they are being treated. This is a public issue because the compensation, I'm sure, would at some point kind of indirectly involve state funds. And the Prime Minister is speaking about the dignity of those people and the fact that he does not want to divulge their personal information. Well, those people are affected. Obviously, they have decided that this is a matter that they want to share with the citizenry, with the public, because, as is normally the case, that's the avenue, that's the method that they can employ to cause the authorities, in this case, the government of St. Lucia, GPH, to give them a better deal. We have a press release from Slasper. Headline: Slasper reaffirms commitment to fairness, transparency, and community-centered development at Bannance Bay. And it's dated Wednesday, June the 4th, 2025. And it reads: the ongoing transformation of Bannance Bay is part of St. Lucia's broader national development agenda, aligned with the government's long-standing Castries redevelopment program, an initiative that has been more than 2 decades in the making. This ambitious effort aims to modernize the capital's waterfront, enhance urban resilience, and uplift communities that rely on the maritime economy. Port Castries plays a central role in realizing this national vision. Slasper, as the key implementing agency, is tasked with improving port infrastructure to meet modern standards while ensuring that nearby communities benefit from a revitalized space that supports tourism, commerce, and cultural preservation. To advance this goal, Slasper, in collaboration with the government of St. Lucia, signed a concession agreement in 2023 with Global Ports Holding GmbH, the world's leading cruise port operator, and I suspect they meant 2024. This agreement prioritizes operational efficiency and includes significant infrastructure investments to enhance the cruise product, elevate visitor experiences, and generate long-term economic growth for St. Lucians. The redevelopment of Bannance Bay into a purpose-built fisherman village will feature upgraded sea houses, secure lockers, proper washrooms, and upland food and beverage outlets. For over 30 years, the area's calm waters and proximity to the Castries market have made it an essential base for artisanal fishers. The new facility will preserve this heritage while enhancing utilities, access, and integration into the cruise and tourism economy. Since the signing of the agreement, Slasper has actively engaged with and sensitized residents through a structured and transparent relocation process. In March 2025, a dedicated consultant was appointed to lead consultations and liaise with community members, Slasper, GPH, and government agencies. These discussions are ongoing and continue to inform the development approach. Slasper has taken deliberate steps to ensure all project-affected persons are treated with dignity and fairness. Independent property and crop valuations were conducted to guide compensation. Personalized packages were developed based on structure value, length of occupancy, and potential income loss. Even without formal documents, claims were accepted in good faith. Additional support has included relocation grants, temporary housing assistance, and referrals to the Crown Lands Department and social service agencies. This holistic approach underscores Slasper's commitment to striking a balance between national progress and individual livelihoods. The redevelopment of Bannance Bay is not about displacement, it is about creating opportunities, preserving heritage, and building a modern, inclusive waterfront that reflects the aspirations of all St. Lucians. Press release coming from the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority. It was not signed by any of the corporation's officials, but it is coming from, it has a letterhead of the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority. Let me hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Let me see if I have any of your WhatsApp messages to go through. And if somebody says via WhatsApp, someone needs to teach our Prime Minister how to understand a question. He doesn't know how to answer them. And let's see, I think we have a call via WhatsApp. Let's go to that contributor as we say hello. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin. You're on the air.
Good day. Good day.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Okay. Tim, I want to ask you, did you understand anything the Prime Minister said there about the Bannance question? Because I have no idea what Philippe is talking about.
But you heard my reaction to that statement that was made.
Yes, Philippe have not answered 1 inch of that question, you know. And who is they? And who is we? Who is he referring to? The guys are asking specifically about their relocation. And a man that, even the man who cannot, the paralyzed man or the disabled man and so on. Philippe have not touched that, you know. The same way, and that is Philippe's general approach to any hot button issue. You talk about BMAX housing in Rockall, is they. They don't want, is they. Philippe cannot articulate nothing that his government is doing. Just like the supporters cannot defend him, he cannot defend himself on his policies. Tim, where are the lawyers? I can mention 3 lawyers who were on Casaba Beach. It's a public beach, and they were doing their protest during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And the clip is there, so I can say the names if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Richard Frederick, Martinus Boswa, and Stanley Felix. There were at least those 3 were there, and there could have been more. Though I saw them on the clip. Where are those 3? Is it because now it's the SLP that's moving persons?
Are you sure, caller? Are you sure that Stanley Felix was there? Because I have never seen.
He was there.
Yeah, he was. Okay.
He was there.
All right.
And if he's listening and if he's saying he's not there, he can call you, and I can call back and say the person I saw wasn't him. All right. Where are they? Where is the National Trust? Where is Dr. King? Because those people are mentioned there, I have seen there in the clip. I'll not say the names if they're not there. You tell her. Yeah. Where is the you giving people money for? How long do you think the average person at Bannance is living there? Thing?
In some cases, at least 2 decades or so.
So you don't believe there's anybody more than 40 years there?
And also, there are people who are living there who are operating out of that place for at least 3 decades or more. For example, I could call his name, former RC Boys School principal, Mr. MacArthur Fowle, a fisherman. He has been there clearly for more than 30 years.
Okay, so I am happy that.
And also, there's another gentleman there who has been here forever, but he he's from Martinique. He has been there for again over 30 years as well.
Yes, I'm happy that this time around, Slasper got probably drunk some Red Bull or something this morning. They issued a statement on that part of Bannance.
You know also was issued a statement? The head of Nemo, the head of the National Emergency Management Organization. We learned from her a little bit.
Tim, we're in for a rude awakening in June, because I was expecting you would say National Trust.
No, Nemo.
But that's probably coming. Free, invisible set of people. Slasper, Nemo, and National Trust. Free mumus. But let me just finish up with Slasper, Tim. Slasper, in the statement, said that it was part of a national plan.
Mm-hmm.
Part of a national plan to develop Bannance in that area.
Yeah.
But I am sure that plan included the previous Bannance land. Why didn't they issue a statement then? The one that Dureno's daughter got for 2-point-something million. Why didn't Slasper issue a statement then? That was a 2-decade plan. The land was sold at least, say, 3 years ago. Where was Slasper? Tim, you see those monkey institutions? You see those mimicking, hiding, mumu persons we have in authority? One day, they will answer. And I'm waiting for the National Trust to give a statement, to make this statement. As election nears, they will come. But that is when we want to tell the National Trust and those people, do not speak, do not come on the airwaves and say anything about beaches or land or crown land. Nothing. I don't want to hear anything from National Trust ever. Keep it in at your private meetings and when you are meeting your political friends. Do not come, and that goes for Slasper too. Do not come on Newspin and try to fool the people with your political jargon. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. We have another call via WhatsApp as we say hello. Good afternoon to you. This is Newspin. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim. Thank you very much for allowing
Good afternoon to you, caller.
with you and your audience. I have stayed away from Newspin for a while because it just is so demoralizing to hear the direction that the country is going, and not just politically, but just in general. To also get a feel for where our population is literacy-wise and with the ability to make sound decisions. I'm thinking of how history seems to repeat itself in St. Lucia, not history like 20, 30 years ago, not to say that is not happening, but even recent history, as recent as 5 and 10 years ago, that some of the same mistakes that we've been making for the last 10, 15, 20 years, we're making them again, and making them almost with impunity. And our politicians, both sides, this again is not an attempt to both sidesism, but both sides are doing it because both sides realize that it is beneficial to their particular outcome, to their particular agenda. And all of this preamble is to say this. If we go back to 2013, this was, I think, either August or May of 2013, there was a document making the rounds, and there was lots of conversation about a particular document that was going to go to all of the towns and villages and councils across the country and was going to root out corruption and was going to be the bellwether and the plot for rooting out corruption in the country and bringing people to justice. And riding on the wave of the review of financial operations of town, village, and rural councils. And surprisingly, it says private and confidential, but I have a copy of the document. I was able to find a copy of this private and confidential document on the internet. It's a 2013 document that listed specific individuals' names from towns and councils across the country and talked about or alleged all kinds of malfeasance. And on that was based a political promise that the persons who were named for these alleged malfeasances were going to be brought to justice. And everybody was excited. Finally, there was going to be justice. Finally, people who had done the country wrong were going to be brought to justice. And we saw what happened. The individuals got into power and that disappeared. What we saw in action was a paper tiger, something ineffectual that was given to us to make us think that there was a real plan to do anything. And in 2025, we're seeing the same thing happen again, except this time the paper tiger is a person. So they've identified a person, and I think it's an excellent strategy. Strategically, it is beautiful because it so separates the party and the promises from the individual. So you could always say, we did not fail the special prosecutor was not robust. The special prosecutor did not do his job. The special prosecutor was ineffective. But see what we did? We made sure that there was a special prosecutor.
And therefore, the special prosecutor needs to clear his name. He's a professional. He needs to clear his name. He needs to give us an update to say, I mean, what he's discovered thus far, what he has not discovered, where things are at this point in time, because the Prime Minister anytime from now can decide to call general elections. That was a main campaign issue leading up to the last general election.
Tim, which government official have you ever seen step forward and clear? Oh, you're talking. Which government official have you ever seen step forward and clear their name? The last police commissioner, we called on her for multiple years to clear her name, to say what actually is going. When did we get a response? When she was done and ready.
Yeah.
We saw the same thing with the current commissioner, with the other one who was being considered, who's on leave or maybe not on leave. I don't know what exactly is going on with him. A number of we've called on Minister of Home Affairs. We've called on people to investigate the briefcase. We've called on people to talk about the Bannance lands. We keep calling on people, hoping that they are going to do, quote unquote, the right thing, without realizing that all we do is keep calling and just spitting in the air and hoping that it's going to be different this time. And it has never been different. So the special prosecutor will not do the right thing and will not clear his name until it benefits him. The Prime Minister will call the elections, the special prosecutor will no longer be active, and we will forget it and move on to the next thing. We keep doing the same thing every year, every election, hoping for something different. We've now had at least 2 paper tigers. One, the Town and Village Council report, and now the special prosecutor. And you fan the flame of division and anger and hope that people will not realize that you are the one doing the fanning and will blame somebody else. And on that cloud of smoke, you will rise to power again. And I think the UWP is going to do something very similar. If they were to get into office, they will promise us that they will do all kinds of things. They will get into office, and who is going to be brought to justice? None. We need, the people themselves need to not just demand better, but to take better, to make it happen for themselves. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for calling, sir. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see there. Somebody says, I'm trying to get the show. I have a contribution regarding victimization, and we are looking forward to that contribution anytime from now. And let me see if I have a WhatsApp message to go through. And somebody says there via WhatsApp. Okay, let me see if I could get another message. Okay, the person says via WhatsApp, Tim, I bet that if GPH government was giving $500,000, the Prime Minister would speak out about the amount, and it wouldn't be private. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And via WhatsApp, somebody says there, let's see. Okay, I have so many WhatsApp messages coming in. Tim, any press release that does not carry a signature should not be read on the air, because anyone can get a letterhead in their possession. I know that it was authentic as far as it coming from the St. Lucia Air and Seaports Authority, and that is why I read it on the air. Let's see if we have a call via the landline. In the meantime, let me go through a WhatsApp message. Let's see there what you are saying via WhatsApp. Somebody says there, also remind them that when the United Party was in office and offers were made for relocation of the Bannance Bay occupants, that Dr. Hilaire told the people there not to move. So it wasn't for the betterment of their lives then. And do we have a call via WhatsApp? No, via the landline? I don't think so. And let's see. Another message. The Prime Minister acts like he doesn't care what they think, but deep down he is obsessed with their opinion. Shaking my head. And let's see if you have some more of your messages to go through there. We have a call on the line. Good afternoon. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Tim, thank you. Good afternoon. While I appreciate your show, Tim, I am recommending that you have a show on victimization. Tim, victimization is real, especially in the public service. When a government brings in a political appointee, it is supposed to be a blessing, in a sense that someone is no more unemployed. Everyone has a right to eat a bread. But my question today is why? Why when they report to office, they come with a perception like they are in charge, they are the boss. They make others feel uncomfortable. You happen to be uneasy in the office. Tim, people are suffering from victimization. They try to avoid the office for their own peace. They fight you down from being promoted. The political appointees make life very difficult for you in the office with no reason. Many persons are afraid and unhappy, Tim. Can you believe, Tim, I give you one example. There was a political meeting being held last night, and somebody who was a team member on the night program was very sad and shaken because they were saying that they asked them to come to the meeting and wear the political shirt. Right? And the people are feeling unhappy about that. Why must I wear a shirt to come to a meeting? Why must I go to the meeting? But the meeting is a public meeting that we can go home and watch it on live if we so desire. I don't want to comment too much on that, Tim, but I'm saying that Tim, victimization is not good in St. Lucia. It's not good, Tim. There needs something to be done about that. Persons have to stop victimizing people. People are supposed to be able to exercise their democratic right, Tim. It's not fair. It's not fair. As for me, as an intelligent person, Tim, they try to come for me. The last incident that I encountered, what I do, I keep a journal. Whether it means by recording, my last encounter, I recorded the political appointee yesterday. Tim, what I want to say to all those being victimized out there, have faith, be strong, be focused, fear only God. Whether it's a God, there's a way. I believe in change, and I pray that change do come in St. Lucia. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling, ma'am. I suspect that's the individual who sent me the WhatsApp message wanted to air his or her opinion, on allegations of victimization. Somebody says that via WhatsApp, what is so secretive about relocation of Bannance Bay residents? Seems we have a secret deal. Emma had a secret date. Now, PJP has won now. We have another call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. Newspin, you're on the air. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
We have the problem of listening to you on delay on another device.
Yes.
I want to touch on two things quickly, or maybe three. I listened to the Prime Minister, and he honestly thinks we are stupid. He says he respects privacy and stuff like that, only when it's convenient. They publicize everything they do, every ribbon they cut, every ounce of char they pour on the road. Even when they give pads to girls, that's all over the internet, everywhere else. Something that should be private, not people being relocated and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, if they had such a plan, knowing this government, they'll be broadcasting the plan all over the place that they have this brilliant plan. They built 2 little houses over in Dennery. These people were plastered all over the news for 2 little houses. So if you could do that, why you want to come and lie to us and tell us something much bigger? You want to keep it in confidence. We're not that stupid. Maybe some people are, but not all of us are. You can't fool all of us all the time. The next thing is the supporters who are calling for people's heads and they want to chastise the special prosecutor. They can produce the evidence they have, like you rightfully said in your preamble at the beginning of the show. The politicians said they call people corrupt and stuff like that. They appointed a special prosecutor. It looks like they put the cart before the horse because you accuse somebody before you have evidence. Maybe the special prosecutor should go to the politicians, to the people who in the last campaigns, all the videos on YouTube, the people who promised that they would take people to court and to chastise them and prosecute them and stuff like that. They are the ones the special prosecutor should go to now and say, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Minister, Mr. Whoever, Mrs. Whoever, give me the evidence you had when you made those pronouncements on the stage, on your campaign trail and stuff like that. Because people are asking to go after people without evidence. They tell them produce the evidence and we'll all sit down there and cheer them up for doing that. we have too many people in St. Lucia who don't think critically. They don't think for themselves. They listen, if they support a side, they listen to what the side say. They don't think critically. We call ourselves an educated nation for the most part. So we have PhDs and we have 2 Nobel laureates and stuff like that. We don't realize that education does not always equal intelligence. These people know how to take tests, they know how to cram, they know how to regurgitate. So anybody could cram something, remember it, and spit it back on an exam. It takes a different mindset to critically think of something and look at it from all angles and look at the pros and the cons. And St. Lucians need to learn to do that. Whatever is handed to you, whatever a politician, whoever tells you, take it apart and put it back together for yourself, even if you support that person. Too many people just sit down, they drink this, and then they get frustrated and come and say, oh, you told us that, you told us. Well, from the very beginning, you should have known that was not possible based on what was happening at the time. People need to start thinking critically and thinking for themselves. Yesterday, one of your friends, you roll your eye at the man, PW, he mentioned Haiti, and he said Haiti needs good governance, and that's true, but that's not the whole picture. Almost every time I hear somebody call your show and mention Haiti, they put all the onus on Haiti, make it look like the Haitians are out of control, the Haitians don't know how to manage the country. That's not true. As a matter of fact, the Haitians, the first black independent nation, they were strong and they went ahead and got rid of France. And France and the United States got together and decided they're going to certainly make an example out of Haiti so no other black nation get any ideas of getting independence and fighting for independence again. And they've been quashing the nation since then. Haiti is one of the richest countries in the hemisphere. Haiti has gold, copper, bauxite, calcium carbonate, marble. They even have something called vetiver, which is what they use as a base for perfumes. Half of that supply of the whole world is in Haiti. It's worth a lot of money. Iridium, which they use for your spark plugs, your making medical devices and stuff like that. Iridium is so precious that in January or February, it was going for $5,000 an ounce. Gold is at $3,500 an ounce. So iridium is more profitable than gold. Haiti is like one of the top 5 or 6 countries besides Russia, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Canada, I think. Haiti is the next country that has the most iridium. It has the second largest deposit in the world behind South Africa. What happens is you find all these companies over there, keep Haiti divided, keep them at war, like they do in the Congo. Every country that has the most resources in the world, they create war and destabilize these countries. They have one of the biggest U.S. embassies in the world, I think it's in the top 25 or whatever, is in Haiti. America has 182 embassies and consulates around the world. One of the biggest ones is in Haiti, is in poor Haiti. Why? To safeguard U.S. interests and U.S. companies. PW said, oh, Haiti needs proper government. Well, the Haitians keep electing. Look at when they did Aristide. Aristide came. He said he was a kind of a social democrat. He's going to look after the Haitian people. He wants Haiti's resources to go for the people, like they're doing in Mali and in Burkina Faso right now, and they're upset against that. When he came and he said he tried to change the dynamics and give Haitians part of their country and look after the Haitian people, they got rid of him. He was lucky they didn't assassinate him. They got rid of him and they put Michelet or whatever his name, I forgot, Michelet or whatever his name is, an American puppet who in school in Boston. Everybody knew who he worked for and what he did. So every time Haiti gets a proper president who's going to take Haiti in the right direction or see after his people, that person is kicked out. PW need to educate himself. Quickly, Oswald Augustine, I think, or whoever called you last week, and he mentioned something about the opposition needs to demonstrate and stuff like that. And yes and no. The problem is St. Lucians sit down there and wait for the opposition to do everything. Everybody wants to tell the opposition what to do. The problem with the opposition demonstrating is it'll take critical issues that are fundamental, issues that are critical to the country, and it'll politicize it. And let me tell you what I mean. When you see demonstrations happening in Canada, the United States, in certain places, when the politicians come, like earlier this year, I was down in Queen's Park with the demonstrators there. 2 politicians came, we shoot them away. Mm-hmm. The reason for that is We do not want our issue to be politicized, because when you have a serious issue in the country, you want every faction, every party supporter, you want St. Lucians as the whole to support you.
And you want it to
So
be,
it has
and
to
you
be
want it to be,
grassroots.
you want it to be organic as well.
Exactly, exactly. If right now, if somebody go by the market step and demonstrate for wages, for the relocation or whatever, they'll have sympathy, or they'll have people joining them from all different places. The minute a politician from any party comes and stand with that person, all of a sudden it becomes a UWP stuff or an SLP stuff.
But you realize,
right?
how the government behaves, right? When, for example, you pose a question as a reporter to any government minister, let's say the Prime Minister, pertaining to the recent protest action by the truckers, invariably, whether it is the Transport Minister or the Prime Minister, they will tell you, well, the opposition is pretending as if they were not in office and this problem did not plague St. Lucia whilst they were in office. We're not talking about the opposition. You talk about the 2.5% levy that the government imposed on consumers in St. Lucia, and the Prime Minister will tell you, well, the opposition is now criticizing this. Not the opposition. Consumers have been calling the various talk shows in St. Lucia and complaining about this. So they know that they're confusing the whole issue whenever they politicize it, whenever they make reference to the opposition, as if the people have accepted it, but it's the opposition that is opposing it.
Exactly. Tim, I worked for the governor of Florida at the time. Jeb Bush was the governor. He told us one thing. We were trying to blame a previous politician in his first term. He was there for 2 terms. You know what he told us? He said, after 2 years, we own all the shit that's happening around here. You know, he said, after 2 years in office, it is ours. We campaigned on it. We said we were going to fix it. We have 48 months. If we haven't been able to fix it, we have to go now and explain to the people what has happened, what we are doing, what we plan to do, what we're going to do for them. We cannot right now go and blame the guy before, because we told them we had the answers. Let's start doing it right now. He told us, after 2 years, do not send any briefs to my office. Do not send me any talking points that points fingers at the other guy. We can make reference to certain numbers, certain things that happened in the past, but the blame game stops after 2 years. That's what he told us. And we were not allowed to come to any meeting on the 29th floor, sit down at his boardroom and tell him anything about anybody else. And almost 4 years, everything out of that prime minister's or the minister's mouth is on the opposition. Even when they lie, they do it in the opposition. And St. Lucians need to hold them to account. Here's your manifesto. We all have a copy of it, or anyone who wants to have a copy of it. Here's what you said you were going to do. Your campaign speeches are on the internet. You promised this, you said this. You didn't say it was dependent on the opposition doing stuff. But they're so used to fooling St. Lucians. They make noise, they blame people, and people buy it. And people don't think critically. And St. Lucians need to start looking at these people and dissecting everything they say and look for the truth in it and call things by the names. When you're lying to us, let them know you're lying. But they cannot use your position after 4 years in office to say that's the reason why they cannot do things. And the Prime Minister is paranoid. He is scapegoating everybody. Look at him answer questions. If you ask, whatever you ask him, the Prime Minister sees a zombie everywhere he looks. He sees somebody after him. He sees a boogeyman everywhere he looks. He's scared. He's paranoid. He needs to stop that and govern the country and speak with the people, be transparent, tell us the truth, and then we will start believing him. Thank you so much for allowing me so much time today.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for calling. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. UltraMed Health Services is a trusted provider of comprehensive medical care, offering a wide range of services from urgent care, laboratory services, and advanced ultrasound diagnostics. UltraMed Health Services is conveniently located in Rodney Bay behind the Baywalk Mall. Give them a call at 715-8484, 715-8484, 287-8484, 287-8484, or to book your medical appointment today, call 572-8484, 572-8484. UltraMed Health Services is located once again in Rodney Bay behind the Baywalk Mall. Still to come, I deem that individual to be a refreshing politician. You will hear from him or her.
Carnival just got crunchier with KFC. It's time to fed, win, and feast with the Carnival Crunch Box. For just $30, get a Big Crunch or Zinger sandwich, 3 crunchy strips, a dipping sauce, regular fries, a 16-ounce soda, and a biscuit. But wait, that's not all. Every Carnival Crunch Box gives you a chance to win big.
Costumes from legends, fusion just for fun too. Ixuvo tribe of 12, come jump with your crew. Get your receipts, write your name and number down. Drop it in the box, you can't be jumping in town. Win tickets to mess, fun up, escape and more. Plus KFC vouchers to keep you crunching for sure.
Promotion runs June 1st to July 20th. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Whatever they crunch you want.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbouté at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Couiller Lucilec avant ou trim et ben couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outil ou ka servi pas venir moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot Rewards Card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you. Just for me? Yes, just for you. Shop in store or online and enjoy a seamless experience. So I get to treat myself every time I shop? Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.com.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beats in every soul, a feeling we cannot It's hide. Always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping.
Why suffer in silence? At La Clinique de Corps, an approved universal healthcare clinic, you now have direct access to a team of internationally trained specialists from the US, France, Cuba, Venezuela, and more right here in St. Lucia. We treat chronic pain, sciatica, arthritis, lupus, nerve damage, carpal tunnel, and more with precision and care. We also offer advanced diagnostic nerve testing to detect hidden issues early before they become serious. All health insurances accepted. We assist you every step of the way. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950 today. La Clinique de Corps, where healing begins.
Essier, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Shivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Butey. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Shivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and it is called Newspin on Power 97.9 FM. Also on the Newspin Facebook page, as well as the Newspin YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the Newspin YouTube channel. In the run-up to the 1997 general election, we had some candidates that we could have considered to be quite promising and impressive. Among those would include Sarah Flood Bobra, Menisa Rambali, and before that particular period, the likes of Rufus Bosque and Mario Michel as well during the 1997 period. And you looked forward to those individuals making a meaningful contribution to the development of the country because they had a track record, particularly in the case of but in the case of Sarah Flood Bobra and Mario Michel. Of late, not impressive at all. Individuals, you consider them to be persons who just, want to benefit from the politics. In other words, self-serving individuals. It is a case of putting themselves before country. And you judge them by the rhetoric, the utterances. I am putting my neck on the block, and I'm telling you that I'm very impressed with Elisha Norbert, the United Workers' Party candidate for Micoud North. Let's listen to part of a contribution he made during a press conference yesterday.
It's like every single project is given a new name just so that the sitting government could claim it. Cosmetic changes, as you said. Why? While the people suffer. The Sports Academy. Could the Sports Academy have been strengthened, its program strengthened? Could it have received the financial support needed instead of creating a new high-performance center? Can the projects work together? Can our governments work together? This is my message. St. Lucians are looking for hope from our government, our political parties. We are not looking for competition, nasty competition. Behind me, the coat of arms, I want you to pay attention to the words at the bottom. Our St. Lucians are tired of a system that's working against the land, the people, the light.
Elisha Norbert, who is the United Workers' Party candidate for Micoud North. Not easily that happens, but he has impressed me. Let's see what happens going forward. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. And let me see if I could go through some of your WhatsApp messages. And the big news is the director of Nemo has issued a press a statement. And I've placed it on the Newspin Facebook page. You'll be hearing from her during the course of... Sorry. You can log on to the Newspin Facebook page, and then you could listen to the statement in its entirety, 14 minutes long, but you'll be hearing from her in just a moment on this program. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, Newspin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I am okay. How about you?
Yes, I'm fine. I see you going solo.
Yes, Amanda is not feeling too well at this time.
Okay, Amanda, get well soon, my darling. Tim, I want to talk about continuity in government. It's time for this party thing to stop where one party loses an election, the other one comes and stops the projects, whatever project it is. Because it's the taxpayers paying for it, not the politicians. And we should put our feet down on that to make sure that should be part of campaigning where politicians have to promise when they come and the project is going and there's no problem with the project to continue it. Or if they feel there's a problem, still try to still continue and investigate in the meantime. But that thing of stopping projects for months, for years. Look at the Groseville Castries Glosary Highway. Look at St. Jude's. Who's paying for that? Not the politicians. And then we had one another's fruits and current fun about St. Jude's and his SLP that do that and his Flabo that do that and everything like that. The politicians on the whole, they need to stop that team. And I'm saying red or yellow or green or blue. You understand? This costs taxpayers a lot of money and the politicians don't care. Just to ladge up themselves and say, well, they stop it and they continue it like they have the power. We put you all there. This should be part of campaigning where solutions come together and let politicians know when they get into power. Stop that thing of just stopping projects for no reason whatsoever. Look at that. Look at the Talvan and the shop thing. That's a perfect example, Tim. Whatever politician it was, whether it was red or yellow, that was wrong. Look, now they have to go back. And you know what? The thing is that when they stop these projects, Tim, all the time the projects are stopped, the contractors getting paid. You know that, Tim?
Yes,
Exactly. Then the contractors take them to court and they have to pay about 4 times what the project is worth. And I solutions. You see, me, Tim, every year I get older, I'm getting wiser politicians. And it's time, every day I say, and I'll say it again, you see that red and yellow, we need to stop it. We need to have that same thing where each constituency, getting the good people in the constituency together and vote for somebody to represent his constituency. Leave that party thing alone. That party thing is destroying us, dividing us, causing hatred. When you listen to our Prime Minister, when you listen to our Prime Minister, number 1 on the list, everything that come out of that man's mouth is hatred. You had a meeting last night and everything they ask you is, you have to turn there and turn there. You cannot answer directly. And everything is blame the opposition. Blame. You know, the opposition is out for a purpose. You understand? When they vote on opposition out, it's for a purpose. You that win the election, now prove yourself. Stop dwelling on what the opposition did and what they didn't do. Tim, I don't know, but I right now there, I don't know what to say again. I am just, it's like, anyway, Tim, thank you for your time.
Ma'am. Thank you so much for calling. We have another call via WhatsApp. Let's put this call on the air. Good afternoon. Newspin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
You might not recognize the number. I'm calling at a different phone. But Timothy, once again, I'm calling for the benefit of all citizens of St. Lucia, not for my personal benefit. Timothy, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia has recently boasted about the new recruits, police recruits that he has provided the citizens of St. Lucia. But a certain section of them seem to be taking advantage of the average motorist in St. Lucia. And I say this particularly to the fact that a small city, the capital city of Castries, you mean to tell me with all the money that's being circulated around with CIP and so on, the police of St. Lucia cannot see to it that the city of Castries, not the entire island, but the city of Castries is properly marked before they start giving tickets all around, just black as white. And they have some young recruits with slates. I call them slates, not police books. The big exercise books, walking around, giving tickets black as white. Now, let me say this. The fact is that we are a tourist country. There are people who come here and drive and rent cars. And I hope that the police, particularly the police commissioner, would have a conscience. When you send in your young recruits out just to look and give tickets and there's no proper signage, no parking signs, no streets that are properly marked. If we cannot do that to a small city like Castries, and then a police officer will tell you, oh, if you went to a big country, you'll obey the laws. The big country will have proper signage. The big country will have marks. They'll have signs along. What is the Ministry of Infrastructure doing with regards to signage, at least in the city? Goodness gracious. To have these 3 at a time policemen walking around Castries, just putting tickets on people's cars, when the paint on the road has faded out. And you know what they'll tell you? The law is that this street so and so. How many drivers in St. Lucia know which streets are prevented, there's no parking on the streets? Drivers look for signage, goodness gracious. Drivers look for signs to say where they can park and where they can't park. So, Mr. Commissioner, take your police officers and let them look for criminals. Let them look for people who break the law, who snatch the thing. Don't look before you can give people ticket books to go out and charge every single person that just stop on the side of the road. Have them trained properly. Have them understand that there is a law for the police too. There is a law for the police too. The law cannot just be going out and just putting tickets on people's cars like that. It's an unfair practice. It's a very unfair practice, Timothy. That's my opinion. And I hope that the drivers will protest. Maybe we should have a protest like the truckers and block up the city until they put proper signage. This is ridiculous. You cannot just send police out, young recruits who just put in tickets on people's cars just like that. We're citizens. And there are tourists coming here that don't know where to stop, where to park, and where not to park. And you're going to tell me that they should know the law? You don't go to New York and tell you should know the law. You see the signage. So thank you, Timothy. I hope they get the message.
All right,
and
sir.
Stop this giving just tickets, books, just to make money. And I think I don't want to blame the Prime Minister for that. But if that's his doing, he should get some of the blame too. Get the city properly marked. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Let's see if you have a call on the landline. In the meantime, let us go through to see if we have any of your WhatsApp messages. Just bear with me while we try to go through one or two of those messages. Somebody says there, with regard to Elisha Norbert, Tim, I concur with you 100%. I've been saying so from the beginning when he went back to basics with the country's motto. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. Newspin, you are on the air.
GB, how are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Not bad, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I need a favor from you, GB.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. After a long hiatus, I'm coming out of retirement this year in my songwriting. I have one song on offer, but it's for two Calypsonians, whichever one wants it. And that's Mr. Leo, Teacher Leo Ticaro, or Minel. And if they're interested, I would like your permission, Tim, that they get through to me through you.
Okay.
I don't want to give my number on the air.
All right.
Okay? So I'm just asking Teacher Leo Ticaro or Minel to get in touch with me through you if they're interested in having one song to back up whatever repertoire they may have for the season. I know quarterfinals is around the corner. If you're interested, this one song will heighten their chances for the future campaign.
So it's one song. If it's Leo can decide whether he wants it or Minel. Which one comes first?
Whichever one of them. Yes.
So what's the name of that song? Entrust us at least with just the name.
I can't divulge it.
Okay. So let me ask you another question. Have you written other calypsos before?
I've written for numerous Calypsonians. I'm the one who created Tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I've written for Bingo, Espa, Zando, among others.
So which song you wrote for Tricky? Mama?
I pen Mama thing.
Okay.
I pen Mama.
And which one for Bingo?
Well, the early Bingo, not the vintage Bingo.
Okay.
The early Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Right? And lots of other Calypsonians.
All right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for calling. So the invitation goes out to Leo, that's T. Caro or Minel. Let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages to go through there. Please bear with me, just trying to see if I could get this call on the air. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says that, Tim, I usually text my contributions here because of victimization, just like the earlier contributor spoke of, but I don't hear my comments read by you. I concur with her. Political appointees prowl within the offices of government departments or statutory bodies, making reckless decisions with scant regard if the implications or with any respect for other employees who are better equipped to contribute to national development. That is a WhatsApp message. And let me see if I have some more of your message. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, I'm so fed up with these politicians. There was a news item on DBS showing a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the Soufriere Access Center. This facility had been in disrepair and closed down by this present government for a long time, not being attended to. Now that the elections are close, the facility was simply given a paint job and a few laptops added, which were given by the Taiwanese. It was renamed to make those who are not aware think that this is a new facility. Another of the government tactics to make believe that work is being done by them. Such deceit, while the Soufriere library is closed and crumbling to pieces. That is what they should be cutting ribbons for. Person continues, when I listen to Elisha Norbert, these are the kinds of solutions he is referring to. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message while we are awaiting your calls. What became of the two children who died in the bus crash in Choiseul? What they do with them? And also in St. Vincent, the same thing happened in both countries and nothing for that. So what do they do with the bodies? You're not hearing anything about it. Well, I have no information to share regarding what you just referenced there. And let us see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, Tim, I totally disagree with the lady about just continuing works of the previous government, for I would not continue DSH. And another WhatsApp message to go through. But it says, real talk coming from this lady, she hit the nail on the head. I don't know in particular what she was referencing. But let's see, do we have a call on the line? We try to see if we have a call on the line. In the meantime, we have a WhatsApp message. SLP works better in opposition. When in government, they always put the donkey before the cart, shaking my head. The donkey sometimes get confused and jump in the cart. We have a call. Good afternoon, Newspin, you're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Timothy. How are you?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Timothy, the Prime Minister and his answers. What we're witnessing with this government isn't just injustice, it's the hypocrisy, the naked, shameless, politically convenient hypocrisy. And when confronted by this hypocrisy, what do we get? Deflection, distraction, diversion. Listening to the Prime Minister answer tough questions is like watching a husband caught dead wrong But instead of addressing the issues that his wife poses, he starts ranting about how his wife's ex-husband or ex-fiancé or ex-boyfriend treated her. Wrong topic, wrong time, wrong person. We're asking you the questions, Mr. Prime Minister, not the former administration. And when that doesn't work, the deflection, it's like, you know, when you're writing CXCs and you don't know the answer to the question they have asked, but you know a couple of words in the question. So you start dumping everything you know about one word in the question and hope for mercy marks. That is the Prime Minister. But I want to tell the Prime Minister that the people of St. Lucia aren't handing out mercy marks anymore. We're handing out receipts. The selective outrage is not justice in this place. It is injustice. Let's talk about Marjorie. You know, a woman whose name was once rung from Vieux-Fort to Gros-Islet. The Labour Party made her a symbol of struggle. They linked arms with her. They marched with her. They marched for her. They shouted about dignity, heritage, and justice. And let's be honest, it really wasn't about her. It was about them. She fit the script. She was useful. She was a headline. And so they used her. Now fast forward to today, Marie at Pigeon Point is watching her face be carved away. The fishers and the residents at Bannance Bay are watching their livelihoods get bulldozed. And suddenly, no press conference, no placards, no poetry, no moral outrage. Where is the fire, Timothy? Where is the civil society? Where is the Labour Party's Justice for the Poor Brigade? The double standards for the poor must stop. Let's call it what it is. Double standards dressed in red. If your struggle helps them politically, you become a cause. If it doesn't, you become a casualty. Marie is no less a St. Lucian than Marjorie. The Bannance Bay fishers are no less deserving of justice, respect, and representation. But this government runs on a rigged compass, one that always points towards political benefits, not moral principle. They trade integrity for headlines. They preach injustice in one breath, and then they practice convenience in the next. We are watching, we are waiting, and we will speak, because we are not dumb, we are not deaf, and we are not blind. Let me make it clear. We saw how fast they acted for Marjorie when it helped their cause. We now see how slow, how absent, how uninterested they are when real lives are at stake and don't serve the script. St. Lucians are not fools. We see the hypocrisy. We hear the silence, and we are taking notes. This is not about red versus yellow. This is about truth versus truth. Mr. Prime Minister, through your Labour Party, you set the precedent with Marjorie. Now, you are expected to live by it. You are expected to honor it. Or admit what we already suspect, that your principles only kick in when the cameras are rolling. The people are watching. And come election day, Mr. Prime Minister, make no mistake about it, we will remember. No more deflection, no more two-faced governance, no more pretend justice for photo ops. Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream for all, for everyone, not just the politically convenient. We are watching and we are waiting. Thank you, Timothy, for hearing.
Thank you so much for calling, ma'am. Still to come, you'll be hearing from the director of Nemo. In the meantime, Tim, it is one thing to say that the Prime Minister has a speech impediment. It is another to recognize that he may lack the ability to understand the question and respond to us, the citizens who pay his salary. Doesn't the Prime Minister have the capacity to comprehend and respond appropriately? His response seems to suggest that we are not deserving of accountability. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
On Saturday, June 14th, as the island ignites at Lumina, taking over Project Chocolat, Mikal Teja. Mikal Teja. Mikal Teja.
Lauren saying, call out in New York City. If yeah, she ballin'. I need a little rundown.
Alongside soca sensations Ezra and Slide. Backed up by the electrifying Impulse Band. Music by Hype Kid, A1 Jugglers, the Caleb DJ Sir Lancelot. Powered by Island Sounds. Hosted by MC Donoville. Tickets $130, no door sales. Get yours at the Cell Island-wide, Mambo's Bar in Soufriere, or online at 4circlestickets.com. On Saturday, June 14th, Lumina. From 7 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Dress code Caribbean chic.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Lucelec at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart. Stay safe.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping.
And flying to St. Kitts. Guinness St. Lucia is giving you a shot at an all-expense paid trip to the St. Kitts Music Festival, June 26th to 28th, 2025. Experience top dancehall and soca acts from across the region. Buy 2 Guinness or 2 Guinness Smooth to enter. Drop your receipt in promo boxes or DM to We Brew Vibes on Instagram. You must be 18 and over to participate with a valid passport. Prize is non-transferable. Promotion runs May 12th to June 16th with the big draw on June 18th. Plus, look out for Guinness block parties, giveaways, and specials island-wide. Travel sponsored by Sunrise Airways. Guinness, made of more.
I in a good spirit. I drink in a good
St.
spirit.
Lucia, are you ready for the ultimate all-inclusive?
Chalet Blanc, the all-white event. Tier 1 now available at Frontline Ticketing, Eventbrite, Digital Baywalk Mall, 4 Circles Ticketing, or WhatsApp at 240-344-8629. A musical journey curated by the best local and international DJs. St. Lucia Carnival Saturday, July 19th, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.
At Sanders Golf and Country Club, Kappa State.
Look something to talk about.
Unlimited drinks, brunch buffet, top-class entertainment.
Stay tuned. This event is powered by One Golden Fox and Natalie Events.
Why suffer in silence? At La Clinique de Corps, an approved universal healthcare clinic, you now have direct access to a team of internationally trained specialists from the US, France, Cuba, Venezuela, and more right here in St. Lucia. We treat chronic pain, sciatica, arthritis, lupus, nerve damage, carpal tunnel, and more with precision and care. We also offer advanced diagnostic nerve testing to detect hidden issues early before they become serious. All health insurances accepted. We assist you every step of the way. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950 today. La Clinique de Corps, where healing begins.
Looking for amazing deals on tiles? Mark your calendars. Every last Thursday of the month, the Tile Gallery is offering up to 50% off on selected tiles. Whether you are renovating your kitchen, updating your bathroom, or giving your entire home a fresh new look, now is the time to transform your space and save big. Enjoy up to 50% off on selected tiles. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to upgrade your home without breaking the bank. Visit M&C Home Depot and Sunbelt locations for more details.
Calling all teens. This one's just for you. Get ready for the KFC Teen Socarama happening Saturday, June 28th from 12 to 6 p.m. at Serenity Park. It's a full day of teen talent on display. Junior soca and calypso artists, carnival bands, fashion, drama, games, and non-stop vibes. Come out and let's have some good, clean fun. No alcohol, just finger-licking goodness. So tell a friend, grab your crew, pull up to KFC Teen Socarama. See you there.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Time now for our Newspin question of the day. The Newspin question of the day reads, who is the most refreshing candidate for the 2026 poll and why? Who is the most refreshing candidate for the 2026 poll and why? And I did explain to you earlier on, from my perspective, the most refreshing candidate so far is the United Workers' Party's Miku North candidate, Elisha Norbert. Because of his tone, because of his rhetoric, because of some of the ideas that he is presenting, his whole deportment doesn't appear to be somebody who wants to rile up, supporters. He appears to be very different. The Newspin News of the Day. The Newspin News of the Day reads, PAHO calls for countries to prepare health systems amid hurricane season. The Pan American Health Organization calls for countries to prepare health systems amid the hurricane season. We'll give Rick Wayne 5 minutes to make his contribution, and then you'll be hearing from the director of Nemo after so many days of us calling to hear from her. Let's have Rick Wayne on the line. Good afternoon. 5 minutes, sir.
Very quickly, Tim.
Yeah.
I just wish St. Lucians would have learned by this time that you don't ask politicians questions expecting what we would call pure truth. You ask them to get their answers, and you put that down and check it against facts investigated by you, and that's how you serve the public. You either underscore what the politician said, or you prove him a liar or a misleader. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, yes, it is.
That is what politicians do. The other point is, the Labour Party, because that's what they're talking about, is notorious for getting out in the streets and making all the noise over what it considers projects or injustices or whatever it needs to come out with. The United Workers' Party, on the other hand, seems to always be reminding us about the marches and how the Labour Party comes out and acts and does this and does that. And they don't do it, Tim. They don't stand up nearly as strongly for what they believe in or what they want to defend or what they want to push and stand by. They complain about it, whereas the Labour Party does both complain and protest and everybody on board. Is that also true?
Very true.
It's high time we learn that and stop sitting down and praying or hoping God will do this. God will not. God is not involved in politics. God is only involved in you thanking Him when you get up in the morning. Thank you, Lord, for letting me get up. Everything else is totally in your hands. That is my message to St. Lucians today, Tim. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Finally, we hear from the director of the National Emergency Management Organization, Kenisha Jeffrey Eisenbert.
The St. Lucia National Emergency Management Organization, Nemo, is the agency assuming responsibility for disaster management in St. Lucia. It derives its legislative authority by virtue of the Disaster Management Act No. 30 of 2006. Nemo is mandated to ensure the nation is in a state of readiness to deal with any disaster eventuality and to coordinate the response to the impact of any hazard. To satisfy this mandate, Nemo relies for full support from its 14 national committees and 18 district disaster management committees comprising primarily of volunteers. Nemo is not responsible for the weather. The St. Lucia Met Services is solely responsible for any weather-related information. Disaster preparedness measures. Elections of district disaster management committees. Leading up to the hurricane season, Nemo conducted a series of district disaster management committee elections in various districts around the island. As such, Ancillary, Labrie, Viewfort South, Viewfort North, Micoud North, and Dennery South all have in place new and exuberant disaster management volunteers. The other districts around the island also have functioning disaster management committees which are ready and willing to serve our country. On Monday, May 26, 2025, Nemo conducted a successful orientation and onboarding exercise for the new District Disaster Management Committee volunteers who are all eager to make a difference in their communities. Nemo encourages you to support your District Disaster Management Committee members and to volunteer your time and services in our efforts at disaster management at the district level and nationally. Meetings. As part of preparations for the ensuing hurricane season, Nemo also convened meetings with the chairpersons of its 14 national committees and 18 district disaster management committees. At these meetings, the chairpersons delivered reports on their readiness for responding to any disasters and the upcoming hurricane season. The meetings also provided an opportunity for them to apprise Nemo of their needs ahead of the season. Coming out of these critical meetings, prior to the start of the hurricane season, Nemo has requested a meeting of the National Emergency Management Advisory Committee, NEMAC, to inform the committee of the country's state of preparedness and the needs of each agency to enhance their capacity to respond to the worst-case scenario. Training. The National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, has intensified its preparation for the season by conducting a number of training programs benefiting its volunteers as well as the various response agencies such as St. Lucia Fire Service, Royal St. Lucia Police Force, Borderley Correctional Facility, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Infrastructure, Ministry of Equity, and Office of the Prime Minister. Multiple cohorts of volunteers, first responders, and government employees were trained in the area of damage assessment and needs analysis post a disaster event. An intense one-week training in mass casualty management was also facilitated for a group of volunteers and first responders. Both training opportunities involved theoretical and practical sessions which were of tremendous benefit to the participants in their response to a disaster. Volunteers and first responders were also trained in CPR and first aid and customer service. Community Emergency Response Team CERT training is also scheduled for the week of June 10th to 13th and June 16th to 20th, 2025. Nemo is also in the process of negotiating funding for shelters and shelter management training. Some other critical training areas to be highlighted are chainsaw management and drone pilot in disaster response. Nemo also collaborated with the private sector on training for their staff and developing their emergency plans. Some of these organizations included Lucilec, Royalton, Windjammer London, scheduled for Friday, June 6, 2025.
Finally, we heard from Kenisha Jeffrey Isenberg, Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, and her full statement is on the Newspin Facebook page. It is also on YouTube. It is 14 minutes long, and maybe you don't want to pay attention and to listen. That's a broadcast. Thank you so much for listening and watching another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, Newspin. Continue to enjoy your Wednesday, and please join me this evening, 7 o'clock for the DBS News World and 8:30 for Newsmaker Live. Goodbye.